representing Ego. Pursuant to the audit we received, and this one arose as an ancillary matter. And for the benefit of Mr. Semakula and your team who were not here yesterday, we did enter into or engage in an inquiry into something that has been in public domain for some 2 months now, of money, millions of dollars that went missing. Part of the money found its way in a bank in London, United Kingdom. In another large portion or larger portion of the same found its way into Japan, a bank in Japan. So we asked your bankers how we lost that money. I don't need to introduce that subject. If you are serious at your job, you know the subject. So we were informed that actually Bank of Uganda as a bank works on instructions from their client. And the client now is the Republic of Uganda, ably or otherwise represented by the Ministry of Finance. And that the chief paymaster is Mr. Semakula, who is in front of us. So tell us about the subject, what you know, and then we shall see how to proceed. For the benefit of colleagues, Mr. Semakula had a very, very busy schedule this morning. I want to thank him for sparing time, just like the Bank of Uganda, but in him in particular, he has an engagement which was pre-scheduled, but we agreed that he will give us 1 hour of his time today. So as we interact with him, kindly bear that in mind. We do not want to be discourteous. Please proceed and tell us.
Right, thank you very much, Chair and members. It is true, as you have been reading in the papers, that somehow this is a subject of investigations that we are undertaking, so that we know how this could have happened. Because we have been on our systems, we have checked the instructions that we did give, did not have those beneficiaries that eventually got the monies. And I want to emphasize, Chair, that us at Bank of Uganda won, because they are our bankers, we are the client. So we are trying our level best to understand.
You also sit on their board. Is that true?
Yes, as a ministry.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
So
we are one.
Through the PSST.
That's true. So we are trying our level best to be able to understand how this could have happened, so that it does not reoccur. We have engaged, the Auditor General has engaged the special audit. We have the police forensics that are also on the premises to be able to, for us to understand exactly what happened, so that based on that, then we are able to see how we proceed. I really want to emphasize in that we have looked at our information that we have. We do not have those beneficiaries as registered service providers of government. Because for us to be able to pay you as any supplier of government, you must be registered on a government payment system. And these people are not registered. So it is important for us to be able then to understand how this could have occurred for a non-registered government supplier receiving money. So this is something that we are really investigating, and we hope that the investigations should be out soon, and then we can know the facts. And then based on that, we can see how to proceed. Chair.
When did this happen?
The first transaction was they were in September. They happened in September.
No, be specific now. Refer to your documents, if any. You have the accounting officer, treasury operations. You have an entire team, Madam Jennifer Muhuruzi. Bijirwa.
Yes, Chair.
When did this occur?
Chair, this happened on the 15th of September 2024. We had maturities for public debt. And for every debt, maybe just a little bit of a background, for every debt that we contract, we normally agree with our creditors to have maturity dates. And these are usually, it is usually paid twice in a year. For this particular transaction, the first one, which was a payment meant to go to the IDA, the due date was 15th September 2024. And because we already have some understanding with the central bank, and we have what we call a T+2 arrangement to be able to give us an opportunity to understand and agree to the payments properly. So we started processing the payment earlier, and we started on 9th, and on 12th, the payment was remitted to the Bank of Uganda. So this is on 12th that the payment is leaving the Ministry of Finance to go to the Bank of Uganda, because its maturity date is the 15th of September 2024. And normally we work very tightly to make sure that we do not default. So that was the date for the 6,134,137, 137.75 US dollars that was meant to go to IDA with respect to interest and principal.
Okay. And then the second one?
The second one, we processed it on the 20th of September 2024. That's when we remitted it to the central bank, and this was going to the ADF, US dollar 8,596,824. 596,824.26. So this was with respect to ADF. Yes, Chair.
Mr. Semakula, while you were speaking, I kept writing what I considered key. November to October to November to December. Those are 3 months. You do not know. Is that part of what you call trying or doing your best? With this huge amount of money in the public domain, anxiety everywhere in the country, after 3 months, you do not know, and you're saying you're doing your best. Is that the best you can do for us?
Chair, as I said, I think this was the first of its kind, and it's a very complicated issue. We do not want to come to conclusion very fast, so we really need to understand. It's a very complicated issue. You know, we have to go through all the transactions that we have transacted. We have to go backwards to see if there could have been any other incident like that before. We have to, for example, to image the computers and try to see if there are any deletions from anywhere. So it's really a long process, but we are hoping that we should be able to, maybe with the Auditor General, in the next, maybe maximum 1 month, we should complete and be sure.
You know, I'm a very conservative Christian. And Jesus told us that he was coming back very soon. In my attempt, or trying like you also, trying to understand what very soon meant, so that I don't withdraw my trust and hope, I learned that one day, in our eyes, is 40 years, Naomi, in the eyes of God. So you want us to maybe translate into the biblical one, that you're trying and working hard means and includes the biblical version. Okay, we shall nonetheless proceed. Who in your office instructed Bank of Uganda to make this payment, on either for and on behalf of the Accountant General?
Chair, I think you see the payment process, and even I think Bank of Uganda will say the same. We have tried as much as possible to automate it. And automation means that each person at a different level, you do your input. For example, what do I mean? In that the treasury operations people, because this falls under their mandate, they are the ones who initiate the process. They initiate.
They are called the treasury operations.
Yes, they initiate. But so when they initiate, it goes to the payment side. Now,
that is, we are talking about Mrs. Muhuruzi.
So they initiate, and when they initiate, now it goes to the general, what we call the payment side. Now the payment side, for it they do what they call an amalgamation.
Now let's take us through, because you know we have not been there.
Okay.
Now, from the team of Mrs. Muhuruzi, who are those particular persons that initiated? Before we go to the payment side, now we are still at treasury operations. They are initiating. Who are those that initiated?
Chair, I don't know if you indulge with us, because
I will always do.
Because for me, when you told me to come, I basically came on my own with the few person that I could come, because we had an engagement.
You know, Mrs. Muhuruzi is just seated on your immediate right.
Yes, she is.
She's the docket holder.
So I don't know if she also could have gone into the system to know, because
it would actually be a big offense.
Okay.
It would be treasonable for her not to have gone into the system.
So I wanted the chair to talk about the general, and then we can come to the specifics.
No, because you told me you have 1 hour.
Okay.
I will not undertake the lecture of knowing the entire operation system because of your time limitation. For me, I have all the time up to midnight, including tomorrow. Now, I want to know specifically in this, because 3 months, Mrs. Muhuruzi must have also looked into her system and have a trail. So, Mrs. Jennifer Bijirwa Muhuruzi. Bijirwa, yes, Muhuruzi. Tell us who in your team handled this particular transaction. And by the way, even for Bank of Uganda, we do not want to hold them for the entire day. They are doing a lot of work. Madam, get onto the microphone. Oh, by the way, for this, you could even sacrifice the salaries.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, as we are trying to explain, payment processing is indeed a process at various stages. So we have officers who start the process, and the process will start by us receiving the bills from the particular creditor. Then we have officers who will do the reconciliation.
Yes, let's not talk into generalities. So did you receive bills from the creditors?
Yes,
These
we
two
did.
creditors?
Yes, we did.
Do you have those bills with you here?
Not here, but we received the bills.
Please submit the same by close of business today.
Okay. So
Maybe
when we
please
received the bills, we indeed reconciled them.
We reconciled them.
with
Who
our
reconciled
system.
them?
Maureen
Who?
Maureen Kichoncho did the reconciliation.
Maureen Kichoncho.
Yes.
Yes.
Did the reconciliation, and they tally with our system,
Did the
which
reconciliation.
is the debt management and the financial analysis system.
Who else?
That's
Anyone else?
That's
Okay. After Maureen reconciling or doing the reconciliation, where did it go?
It now comes through the assistant commissioner, and at that point,
Who is the assistant commissioner?
that is Mubarak.
Who?
Mubarak.
Mubarak. Mubarak
Nasamba.
who?
Nasamba.
Masamba.
Nasamba.
Nasamba.
So
Yes.
at that point, we now raise an internal memo
So what does Nasamba do? Or what did he
To
do?
review and also confirm.
Reviewed and confirmed.
Review and confirm, and then also to raise an internal memo to the
No, not
accounting
to raise,
officer.
raised.
Raised.
Now we are talking about past tense.
Yeah,
Raised an internal memo.
Raised an internal memo that came to the accounting officer for authorization to process that payment. So that came.
To authorize payment. Yes.
Yes.
Authorize payment.
Myself, Jennifer, yeah. So that came to me as the accounting officer, and I authorized for both transactions.
So number 3 now is I authorized.
Yes.
Payment.
Authorized payment. And
To who? Payment to who?
when I authorize payment, I'm giving authority to
No. Who is the beneficiary?
IDA.
IDA.
The first one was
And
IDA, and then the second one
is
to
ADF.
ADF.
ADF here we mean the African Development Fund.
Correct.
So don't misquote her that they were paying Allied Democratic Forces. Yes, I want us to go process by process so that we understand each other.
Yes.
So after authorizing, who do you submit to?
After authorizing, I return them and say this is authorized, and then
I return to who?
to it is going to Maureen, but through Mubarak. So then they now again capture it on the system.
Wait, Mubarak. Who captures?
On the system, Maureen is capturing on the system.
She captures on the system.
IFMIS, yes, on the integrated
No,
financial.
but Doreen is not Nasamba. Nasamba is Mubarak. Doreen is Chichoncho. So, Maureen received.
Yes. For input.
Okay. She input.
Yes.
We are going to learn how you operate so that immediately after Parliament, I'm going to apply for a job in Ministry of Finance because I'll be knowing what to do.
Okay.
Yes, after that inputting.
After inputting, then it now has to be approved on the IFMIS.
It was then approved.
Then approved.
It was then approved. We were talking about past.
Oh, sorry, Chair, about that.
It was then
approved for
approved
payment.
on.
For payment.
Who approved?
Mubarak approved on the system.
Is there something like a password?
Yes, there is.
And the password is now in Mubarak's hand.
Yes.
Okay.
So after approving, that's when now the payments go to the payments team, which is central at.
Goes to the payments team.
Which is central at the Treasury.
Now, in the payments team, we want to know who it went to, because now we are talking about the past. Presumably, you know. Now it is no longer team, but particular individuals.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that I want to, because
Yes.
for me, I thought that since this was dealing basically with the treasury operations, so I only came with the treasury operations.
Yes.
report.
Okay.
But otherwise, there is a central payments team.
That's okay, don't
And,
worry. For you are going to tell us up to the point where, you've sent it to the X, team X. But now for you, as it has happened, now you know. We will get them, we will have them. Their house is not on fire. We will have them at another occasion. So now, central at the Treasury. That's why we have stopped with Jennifer. So from there, what happened? We are now back to you.
Yes, now you are back to me, but I'll talk in general terms because the responsible commissioner is not here. So now, what usually happens?
Who is the responsible commissioner?
It's called Chigani Daniel. Yes. So, but what happens for that team?
Wait. Mr. Semakula,
Yes.
our letter of invitation to you dated yesterday, and we are very grateful that at short notice you were able to make it. We did mention the subject, And you know that if it is the subject, the person responsible, the persons responsible should all be here.
The chair has indicated to you, this letter was received towards 6. And I called you, I said, although I have engagement, all the ministry staff, where we had engagement at that time, I'll make sure that I come.
Yeah, and
but should you want another clarification, please,
yes, and
we can arrange. And
I will continue to thank you.
Yeah.
We agreed in that telephone conversation that you come with those that you're able to bring. You have been able to bring only these ones. The rest are in that engagement.
Yes.
Okay. But now that the events happened, you have not just a general picture, even the specific ones, a specific picture of what happened, because you must have done your own inquiry.
Yes, I do, Honorable.
Before we get Mr. Chigenyi.
That is why I'm saying that let's come and do this. I give you the general, and then
okay, we shall determine whether there are specifics
and then you can
need to give us.
The specifics.
So after here, Central at the Treasury, what happened?
Now, Central at the Treasury, we have a payment team. Now, this payment team handles all the votes. Basically, for them, is not to do anything, any transaction apart from formatting. So we shall have received the payments from Parliament, payments from Defense, payments from Education, payments from Treasury Operations, and amalgamate them into a file based on the funding for that day.
Yes.
Yes. So for them, they don't look at specifics. They are general on that.
Okay.
They are general. So after that, the formatting, then a file is created. So on the system, you have a full file that today, these are the payments that are getting from the Treasury and which have gone to the bank at that point. Yes.
Yes. Now, from your findings, who handled this particular one?
Chair, I said that's why I'm saying that I really need to come and have a discussion on that specifically, so that I go and, because I didn't know what you want to ask me, whether it's a specific operation or so on. Yeah.
When we talked, I told you to come with all the relevant documents. Have you come with them?
I couldn't raise them, Chair.
Why?
Because as I said, that you gave me really little time.
Okay.
And I said, but because now the files are in different offices. So
I see with some documents. You managed to get a few?
No, these are mine for my reference. But if you need...
Okay, you refer to them.
No, it's not possible, because those ones are not there. These were the general correspondence between us and the bank, not the specific operation.
Do they say who was being paid?
From the bank, yes, it says.
Who do you say?
From the bank, I see they said Roadway Company Limited.
No, not from the bank, from you.
No, from us it was very clear. IDA, ADF. This from our report, because it is our report which is the last. So if you have to do any changes...
Okay, Roadway. You were reading Roadway?
From the bank, yes, not from...
From the bank. Who wrote from the bank?
They say Roadway. That was the Director Banking. Roadway Company Limited.
Director Banking, writing to who?
No, this was confirming to the Accounting Officer, Treasury Operations.
No. The Director Banking is telling who?
Accounting Officer. When she requested, it says we sent money to IDA and ADF, but this money has not reached. So what happened? Then the director wrote back and said, incidentally, these EFTs, we have these payments to these people who are not known to us. So the Director Banking is saying, these people are not... Although you say that these payments were for so and so, but these payments we see, the final pay is... You see, don't use so and so, because the record will not get the particular... Let me help you. But I'm saying give it to me. You know I can compel you. I'm sensitive. But at the same time, I will not hide, or we will not hide the information. As he said, this was on 17th October 24. The accounting officer, Treasury Operations, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development,
signed by Charles Mugisa, a director. It is from Bank of Uganda. He's saying, we have noted with concern that the mentioned EFTs, and names them, dated September 10th, 2024, and EFT, that one of 26th September 24, were processed STP, but not paid to the beneficiaries you mentioned in your letters as per the table. And he mentions them, and they are saying Roadway Company Limited, MUFG Bank, Japan, the 6.134, 137.7.5. Okay, where the intended payee was International Development Association, but the final payee was that one, African Development Fund. The money went to MJS International, but this is post now.
Yeah.
It is after. Okay, I have seen this. So this is one letter of October 17th, 2024 from BOU, Office of Director Banking. Can we look at your document which named the right beneficiary? I'll return this. But give me the one which...
I'll be returned, sir.
I will return. That's why I'm not putting anyone somewhere where you cannot see.
Just hope I'll get back.
It's to the auditors.
Yes, they.
What makes you think you cannot submit them to us?
We have submitted all this, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, 10th October 24, Director Banking, Bank of Uganda. It is from Jennifer Muhuruzi Bijirwa. Request for confirmation of foreign exchange transaction, EFT number 14380401. A transaction amounting to 6.13, I mentioned, was processed for the benefit of International Development Association. Confirmation was received from the bank that the transaction was successfully executed, and this was reflected in the corresponding bank statement as shared via email on 11th September 2024. It has come to our notice that IDA has not yet received the above funds. In light of the above, I request you to confirm remittance of the funds to IDA's account by availing the respective SWIFT advice for verification purposes. Please note that these funds relate to debt service which is overdue. Mrs. Muhuruzi, you are making reference to confirmation which was made.
Yes, Chair.
Do you have a copy of that confirmation which was made by Bank of Uganda that they remitted?
Yes, Chair. When we process payments which go to the central team, after they have been remitted to the Bank of Uganda, normally we get feedback through, again, the same department.
So you got feedback?
Yes.
Where is it? You have it?
Chair, I don't have that feedback.
It's okay. We shall have it.
Okay.
It's not here with you.
No, it's not here with me. But,
To be submitted before close of business today.
Okay.
Okay. And for the documents that I ask you to deliver, please make sure you deliver by hand to the clerk. And he acknowledges receipt. In your presence, he puts in an envelope, seals, you both sign on that enclosing bit of the envelope. Why? We do not want to be accused of leaking your documents, but we also sensitive to the operations of both the bank and the ministry, especially the bank. The ministry is our political establishment. The bank does a professional job elsewhere, and the documents will not be shared. I will also not touch them in the absence of the clerk. My members will not touch them in the absence of the clerk and myself. So I want to address your sensitivities. So this is now 10th October. The other one was September 27th. Was it 17th? Yes. So on October 24th, there is a letter from the director to the director banking from your ministry, and it is signed by Lawrence Semakula, now Accountant General. I think that's when you had come in. And of course, Mr. Semakula is affirming that the person, the beneficiary you are mentioning, called Roadway, is not known to us and is not on their database as a service provider, and no contract known to you. That is Mr. Semakula. 24th October 2024, letter from Accountant General. Okay. Mr. Semakula, from 24th October, where do we go?
So we held a meeting between ourselves and the bank and agreed on certain measures to do. The first one was that we should do a forensic to establish, as I said, that we really need to establish, because this is an incident that had never occurred to us, so we really need to establish how this could have happened. We did agree establish through a forensic audit. Then we also said that we should recall the funds. Bank of Uganda should now take all necessary measures to recall the funds. We did agree that should be reported to police, because this now becomes a police case. And for us, again, as a ministry, we did agree later that we should also involve Financial Intelligence Authority, since they have jurisdictions all over the world, to be able to help us so that we know these people whom they are. So we also wrote a letter to Financial Intelligence Authority to assist us. So, I didn't carry one. Did I carry one? Yeah, I didn't carry one. Oh, just check. I didn't carry one chair. So, but that's what we did, and we embarked on that forensic review. And when we went to police, the police advised us that it would be much more better for us to also engage the Auditor General, since so
to do the forensic audit.
Now we had agreed that since it was a matter of urgency, Bank of Uganda gets somebody to immediately at least give us the basics of what could have happened. But then later we said, no, we need to do a further detailed, because now if we get only one and is contracted by the BOU, we think maybe it might not be independent. That was what some people thought, that it might not be independent. So let's get an independent person, and that's when we agreed that the Auditor General is an independent person who can authoritatively audit the Bank of Uganda and ourselves to be able to establish the truth.
Okay.
And that's why we are.
Okay. Okay, colleagues, you've had, and do we have any comment from the Honorable Kayondo? Yes. Submit them in yellow.
I need two clarifications. First of all, they are talking at cross purposes. When the deputy governor appeared before us yesterday, it appeared that management at Bank of Uganda had taken some bit of investigations with agencies not mentioned specifically by the Accountant General. The Accountant General, Honorable Chair, can I just get a minute to lay my...
No, you see, when you leave that one,
I'm going to...
The agencies in particular.
Yes, for example, I think the Bank of Uganda management specifically talked about CID.
Yes.
And I think that was the specific...
And KPMG.
And KPMG.
Yes. PwC, sorry.
Okay, PwC.
PwC. And
we sought for the mandate under which they are doing it. Now...
Let me clarify on that, Honorable Swami. No, I don't think there is a problem with that.
Can I please lay my fears? Because
you put your
fears.
You
are not confused. I'm the one who's really confused.
You're the one who is confused.
So I need to get clarification. Thank you, sir. They are talking about the Auditor General, which is a clear mandate. Now, what I wanted to know, these two institutions, with all due respect, they are actually involved in this entire saga. The population out there is really asking what really happened for Bank of Uganda or Minister of Finance to go into this ditch. And now they are the same people commissioning the investigations without any external or independent force. The law is very clear. The Auditor General is under us. So they should have written to the Speaker and get some bit of involvement. Independently, Minister of Finance, you have no control whatsoever to deal directly with the Auditor General under the law. At least I know that mandate. Now that you are doing it, under which specific mandate, and what kind of assurance are you giving us, outsiders, that this is going to be independent and transparent? Then two, and that's the final one. Honorable Chair, when you talk of a forensic audit, it's different from ordinary audit. And now the Accountant General is saying, I don't have this, I'm not aware about this. Now, what kind of forensic audit are they doing when you, the provider of the information, you are ignorant or evasive?
Before I allow them to get you out of
the system within Bank of Uganda, that whatever comes from Minister of Finance is automatically handled in the system and paid as it has been presented. And it even insinuated that probably there is even no need for human involvement. It is computerized system. Now, the narrative from the Minister of Finance is to the effect that for them, they indicated the right recipients as per equal documents you have cited, some of them. Now, we cannot be taken for a ride. Both of them must, at this point, know at what stage did the recipient name change, even before we look at the documents. At what stage? Because that is the immediate inquiry one will find out. Taking us around the circle, that this has happened, this will be welcome in terms of information. But let's get a precise position. Yes, you indicated that you are paying IDF. At what point? And the Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor was telling us, for them what comes from your ministry is automatically paid in the available system. And he said there was no fraud in terms of cyber fraud from his narrative of yesterday. So we want to understand now, if the documents we are saying pay IDF and other recipients, and the governor is saying there was no cyber fraud. Now, at what stage did the recipient name change?
Guide me on who we should lock up, because I'm also itching.
See, Chair,
Tell me who we should
number
lock
one is the deputy governor. And then this, I don't know what his name is, accountant general. The two of them. And Chair, I'm equally praying that we must put them on oath because they know the truth. And they are just taking us for a raid. Let's put them on
But
oath.
you see, you're answering my question
Yes.
on who I should arrest. And I want to sign that. Now you're running to the civil beat. Arresting is a criminal process.
Chair,
So
Chair,
guide me.
in the
Deputy
continuation-
Governor, I charge him with what? Detain him?
Chair,
What do we put on the
Chair,
detention
the first step of securing accuracy, and it's within our rules, is to put the top.
Supposing he gives you a document saying, Mr. Semakulak told me to pay roadway.
Chair, in the situation where we are in, that he alluded to the fact that there was no fraud.
There is
anywhere.
no situation
From their answers.
from us.
Yeah, from their answers. The rules allows us to test their accuracy, principally by first of all putting them on oath, so that they speak the truth. Otherwise, they are deceiving us
Honorable
intentionally.
Mwada Nkunyi.
And here, you said they are witnesses, but to us, these are suspects.
To you and who?
To us
You
as
and your
people,
family.
to us as people, I'm a member of parliament.
You mean I'm not
These
a-
are people
one of the
responsible
people?
for national resources. They mismanaged it. Money is lost in the billions. They are here just loitering
Yes,
with irrelevant answers. The relevant answers are one: tell us at what stage did you realize that the money is going to a wrong recipient? When did the recipient name change? Let's start from there.
Honorable
And what
Mwada.
did you do?
Honorable Mwada.
Have you suspended any staff involved
Now
in your
receive-
hierarchy?
okay.
Chair, these people are very annoying.
You have, you see, okay, now switch off the microphone. First of all, I will never allow you to get annoyed. I am one of the people you are referring to. But now, you and I have distinguished ourselves to sit here and listen. You know, and I know you know, you're a lawyer of some sizable standing. The right to a fair hearing is non-derogable. We say as lawyers that every man is entitled to a fair hearing, however capricious that man may appear to be. We will continue to listen them in fairness. You see, we will dispose one by one. How do you put the deputy governor on oath when he's not even on the stand?
He's not above the law.
He's actually
and
under
it should not intimidate anyone's eyes.
I am now
Let's put him on
advising
oath.
you to
What-
turn off that
Chair,
microphone.
once
I
he's in
am,
parliament and summoned,
I'm sure you
he should
agree
not
with me.
intimidate anyone's eyes. Let's put him on
Honorable
oath. So he
Mwada,
speaks the
I'm
truth.
sure you agree with me that I'm heard in silence. Okay? You have made your submission. Hear my guidance in silence. And kindly don't turn on that microphone before I authorize you. No, procedure. You cannot put me on procedure. Honorable Kayoga, you know the rules. I am guiding, you put me on procedure. You see, I'm the one on the floor. Procedure relates to the person on the floor. Okay, colleagues, listen, let's do it this way. Let's receive all the documents we want. I will not exercise any power of the High Court with respect to receiving documents when I'm receiving them. In the normal course, it has not failed. That's number one. Number two, I am guiding that there is no suspect before us. We have witnesses, and we are going to deal with them as such. Number three, no witness is going to hide in other processes which are extraneous to the process of Parliament. If there is anything that you think is confidential, you tell us, we make a ruling on it. So, we are not locking up anyone at this stage. We are proceeding as normal. Honorable Kabasharira?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, in Mombasa. But I'm happy I've listened to you, I've listened to the presentations. I did not listen to the presentation yesterday, but from what I've picked, I tend to agree with you, Chairman, that we first get information, the documents, because there is ping pong between the two institutions. One is saying, the client is saying, I told you this. The other one is saying, no, you told me this, and money went. So unless if we get the documents, because I'm sure they are there, they even have, I've seen a good number of IT. You know, these days, some of us who were born in BBC, and these ones who are in IT, they seem to be taking a lot of advantage over the other. And we used to say that a click of a pen, but these days it is a click of the button, and things change. And I'm sure if we go slowly, there is this Maureen whom they have mentioned, there is Mubarak, there is things just stand like this and that. I think we might even be castigating the wrong people. The small people that are there, maybe high ones can also be in the know, but those who played the games, I think they can easily be caught if we take it slowly. Slowly with time, we shall.
It could even be an act of God.
We shall reach.
Interrogations will tell us whether it is an act of God.
Yes.
You know, in common law, we had an act of God and then enemies of the state. So we will find out who it is.
So I think we also need to give the Accountant General time to get us the right documents, and also the
Some
right
of the
people.
right documents are going to be here now, today.
And
The
also,
others will come.
and also to interact with those people that they have mentioned, Chairman. Whoever was in the line, because the process is long and there are many people who are involved. So who did this and that? We should eventually, I think, get.
Let's go to Kasese.
We dealt with one witness, and he was alone in the Bank of Uganda. Today, that witness is sitting here with another witness, the client, Minister of Finance. Where I come from, they say that when you listen to one witness, you may not judge properly until you have listened to the second and the third. And I'm glad that the Accountant General has told us what seemingly seems to be the truth. I want to say,
Point of order, Honorable Mwaga.
Chair,
Mwada.
Chair is proceeding alludes to a submission as the truth. When actually we are still interrogating, and we have even made prayers that you put them on oath, presupposing that we are in high doubt. Is it in order?
He's in order because there is no presumption of guilt. Actually, the presumption is to the contrary. When a witness is telling you, you will assume that he's telling you the truth.
You cannot be saying the truth before disclosing the whereabouts of the money.
Mwada, you see, when you raise a point of order, you are guided. It is answered. I'm saying we do not simply have evidence that money was lost. They have admitted, the custodian has admitted that money was lost. We don't need proof on that. We don't need to prove that. What we are looking for is that who lost our money, who stole it, and presumably the evidence given by the Accountant General is correct. The evidence given by Bank of Uganda is correct. There is evidence which has not been given to us, which will now tell us. So far, the evidence has not told us who lost our money. The evidence we are digging for and which we must get is who lost our money. We are yet to come to Bank of Uganda. We actually know some of the people who stole our money. The fraudster called Roadway. Wait, the fraudster called Roadway stole our money. We want to know exactly. No. I overrule you on that. There is no accomplice so far established. We will get the accomplices because we say money was in our wardrobe. The door to the house was not broken into. The wardrobe key is with someone. The wardrobe was not broken into. So, who had the safe itself is safe. So we want to know who facilitated, who provided the key. And the colleagues, let us not spend time on procedural guidances, on basic things. Honorable Mujungu, proceed.
Thank you for protecting me.